You're going to be under arrest.
For what?
For not listening to me.
I think the emergency is the video, somebody's videotaping.
And the shirt says, I believe, balls deep. He says his name is Captain Awesome.
Hi, I wanted to introduce myself. I saw that you had press on your shirt. I'm Misty. I'm over media relations.
Misty, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Excellent.
Can I help you with anything?
Absolutely, you
Okay.
can.
It's a beautiful building, huh?
Yeah, the reason I'm here today is that I've gotten reports that the city manager and his assistant were openly mocking folks exercising their rights.
Okay.
So my buddy has the report. He's going to send that to me.
Yeah, send it over. Let me grab my card if you'll send it over to
Yeah,
me as
yeah.
well.
Well, and I came to request some records, some text messages between him, Comiskey, and I guess his assistant is named, I don't want to mispronounce her name. Let me get
Mary Laverne. Now,
Mary
did you
Laverne.
hear they're no longer employed here, though?
No, I did not hear that.
Yes.
Are both of those folks gone?
Yes, they are. Hi.
Okay.
But obviously you can still make records requests, but I just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, their text messages from 12224 is what I'd like to request.
Sure, you got it.
And if there's some kind of report on why they were let go, or
There was.
okay,
yes.
I'd like to request that as well.
Absolutely. Why don't you let me go grab my card and
Yeah,
I'll help you
yeah.
do that? Okay. You want to? I'm down on the first floor. You want to come?
Oh
on
yeah,
down?
sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to go to GN.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have her. I mean, how would you prefer to? Obviously with public
I'm-
records, you don't have to put it in writing. But how
Right.
would you like to make your request?
Just verbally.
Okay.
Just verbally.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
if the report's ready already, then I'll just take it now if it doesn't need redacted.
Sure. Yeah. I'll come on in and I'll give her a call. I think she's not at lunch. I think she'd be able to, and I'll just have her come down and then she can write your request down and let you know when it'll be available. I think text may take a second just because we've got to go through IT. But
Right.
I think the report should be ready to rock for you. So 1 second. So here's my card.
Misty.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, I have a gentleman here that would like to make a public records request in person. So would you mind coming down? Thank you. I'm in my office. Thanks. Bye. So, as I recall, so this is just recall, but the night Mr. Comiskey was suspended in January, his assistant resigned the next day. So I believe that was January 23rd. And then Mr. Comiskey, we reached, I don't know what the title of the agreement was, but like a settlement agreement or some kind of agreement with him parting ways with the city.
Right.
So that happened last month? I don't know. I don't have my dates, but yeah, so neither of them are with the city.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you guys are looking for a new city manager now. I saw that on the next meeting on, I guess, the 19th maybe. I'm not sure. It's on the board up there, but it says city manager selection process.
They discussed, so right now we have an acting city manager, so there's been discussion of maybe promoting him. I don't know where we are in that process, but then some council members did want to open it up too and kind of see what we got. So they started discussing what that looks like, and again, you'll have to excuse my memory. I don't remember what was ultimately decided.
Right.
But I think the consensus was maybe to open it up, but encourage our current city manager to apply, our acting city manager to apply.
Now, where did he come from? Was he the assistant?
He's here.
Well, was he the assistant city manager? Or?
No, he's over the planning department.
Okay.
Yeah,
There.
so.
I'm
Hello.
Jan, I'm the city clerk. What
Hey.
can I do for you?
Well,
You want to have a seat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I asked him how he wanted to make it, and he said just verbal. So.
yeah, I wanted the report on the city manager. And I guess if that's ready now, I could take that now. But I also wanted the text messages between him and his assistant from 122-24.
And
And that might take a minute, she said, because of the IT.
Yes, I didn't know how. I don't know if you have access to those or they go through IT.
I do, and actually there were none during that meeting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
not on
from
their
the
city
meeting. Okay.
Not
Well,
on,
none
not
for the day?
nope, not on their city phone. Somebody made that search, and I
Okay.
was surprised also, but no.
Okay, perfect.
But I can get them the report. If you have all of the exhibits, it's at least 1,000 pages.
Oh, wow.
But the report itself, right?
It's about, yeah, I can do this report that has all of the results in it,
Mm-hmm.
but all of the exhibits attached to it.
Is there a way, is it in PDF form?
Yeah.
Can you just email me the PDF?
I sure can, but I can give you the hard copy of the actual report itself if you want.
Well,
without
then
the exhibits.
that would cost like 15 cents a page or something like that.
Yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah, it'd be $50. So just email me the PDF, and then
Okay.
whatever I need off that I can print myself.
Okay.
And then do you want the separation agreement too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I figured, we've had media interest, so we're kind of like knowing what people are looking for. Because,
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to see,
Sure.
how everything played out, and
Yes.
we'd
And he
been here before. Me and another gentleman, we interviewed the mayor last year.
Okay.
So we've been keeping an eye on,
Mm-hmm.
how everything's going.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
we're interested in local government, so we want to make sure.
We wish more people were.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, some cities don't wish that.
Yeah.
There's a police chief down in Margate that getting ready to get let go on the 21st. They're having a meeting on him because
Okay.
sexual talk and just
Oh.
different stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times stuff gets hidden and covered up, and
Mhm.
of course.
Sure.
Sometimes employees can't talk about it because it's their boss, and
Yeah.
so we like to provide an avenue where they can contact us, and we'll keep their name out of it and investigate it for them and see what we can uncover.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been a lot of good work.
He didn't know they weren't employed here though, so I let him know.
Yes, I didn't know
Yeah.
they had been let go.
I can't. When did
Let go.
Do you remember when Patrick signed the separation agreement? Was that last month?
I think it was the end of last month. I can't remember
Yeah.
what the date is.
But I remembered Mary's resignation date just because media's asked that too. She resigned the very next day after the suspension, so that's been asked several times. So I think it was January 23rd.
Yeah.
So
Then
you could get that email, but it's pretty benign. It's like I'm resigning. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But
yeah.
if you want it.
No, was Mary here before the manager, or did she come with him?
Yes. No, she was here before.
That's kind of strange then that she would resign with him.
Yeah.
I guess I'll wait to see the report
Right.
and see what
She's
all.
mentioned throughout it, so maybe that will
Okay.
tie some.
Yeah, maybe there was going to be a separation regardless, and she wanted to get out in front of it.
It does recommend the
Termination.
handling of her issues mentioned in it be addressed by the city manager. So I can't speak for her, but she is mentioned in it. So
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, you have our info. If you need anything, please reach out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And let me give you an email address where you could send that stuff to. And
But yeah, I saw your press vest, and again, I'm over media relations, so I just wanted to run up see if I could help you.
yeah, it's just it makes people feel safer. I used to go around with no
I see.
press vest, and
Yeah.
people were uncomfortable. I
Right.
guess with a gentleman with a camera, which
Right.
is whatever it is. So I just
that's not a bad idea.
I put press on it.
Yeah.
And
Not a bad idea.
I got some credentials that I bought off a gentleman's estate sale. He was a
Oh my
he was a reporter.
Oh well, look, he's got the NBC tag.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
you look
So-
very official.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was in an estate sale. The gentleman had passed away. He was a
Okay.
reporter over in Tampa.
Sure.
So I picked him up for like $1. I'm like, this will make people feel better about
Yeah.
me,
That's
like
it's really that's not a bad idea because I'm sure
it
people
isn't.
do. Yeah.
It isn't, and people still have to work through the fact that the press is everybody. Anybody can be the press
Mhm.
in
Oh,
a free
yeah.
society.
Yeah.
It's not like we're in Russia or China where we gotta actually go and
Right.
get credentialed by the state, and
Mhm. We have two. I mean, you would technically call them blogs, but we have two media. We consider them media,
Mhm.
because they're covering all events and things happening in the city. So
Absolutely.
we respect them just as much as we do
you know,
Channel 6,
the
you know.
people that report on Bigfoot and UFOs in the Sun,
Mm-hmm.
magazine or newspaper, they're considered media. So why wouldn't anybody else be considered media? If I could do a story on Bigfoot and people are like, "Oh, he's a journalist," just about anybody could be a journalist.
No kidding.
So,
No kidding. Well, what was your name?
I go by Majorly Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, it's my media name, Majorly Awesome. It helps me keep incognito because there is retaliation.
I just wanted to introduce
I go by
so-
George. My name is George.
Okay, George, it's nice
Yeah,
to meet you.
absolutely.
And
Nice to meet you,
whatever
ladies.
you need, you have Jean-Ann's information.
Yep.
Now she is a little overwhelmed with her workload. She's about to get an employee, so we're really excited.
Yeah,
No one works harder than this woman.
Oh, thank you.
But she's great with records and
Oh yeah,
puts,
no, we've dealt with her before. Me and my buddy
Oh,
Foshin.
good. Okay.
Oh, yeah, tell him I said hi.
Yeah, me and Foshin. That's why I'm down here. I was up at a healthcare appointment. Foshin said, he goes, "Where you at today?" I said, "Well, I'm in Lake County today." He says, "Well, did you hear what's going on with Mount Dora?" And I was like, "No, what's going on?" And he's like, city manager made some disparaging remarks about people exercising their rights, which should never be done.
and I'm not sure about that part.
Yeah,
That's what he initially said.
And he says he has a report that he's going to send me, so I don't know what it's about. But anytime I hear that, it's troubling to me because people in city positions don't realize, hey, one day I'm just going to be a citizen.
Right.
So if I'm doing something wrong to the citizens now, chances are later on down the line, they could, the city could be doing the same thing to me. And I'll give you a perfect example. In Sumter County, this is maybe 6 months ago, they wanted to raise the fire fee over there from, for the residential, it wasn't much. It was like $200 a year. But for commercial, it went up to like 50 cents a square foot. So the year before, people were paying like $200 in fire cost tax. Well, with the approved, if it got approved, the new thing that went through, it would jump them from like $200 to $10,000. And people were like freaking out.
That's
and
insane.
Over there in Sumter County, it's a lot of villages.
Okay.
So it's a lot of retired public officials from all over the country, right? And they had literally packed out this meeting hall, and they talked for 2 hours on public comments. And I told them, I said, what do you expect? If this is what you did to your citizens in New Hampshire, what do you expect?
Right.
You're now a citizen. That power and that, good old boy, and I know this guy, and I'm in good with the mayor, and all that's gone now.
Yes.
Now you're a citizen paying $8,000 more than what you should because they can't manage their budget, which is what it is.
That's crazy.
So
I wonder if it's like a fire assessment like we have. Ours is like $200.
It is. It's exactly a fire assessment. And it's to help pay for the fire, trucks and whatever. But like one guy was saying, because they had RV places, right? So they were taxing the guy on lots that nobody was even there.
Oh, wow.
So he's like, "You're charging me on dirt. You're charging me money to put out fire on dirt." So
there's nothing there to burn down.
Thankfully, the commission listened, which is unusual, but thankfully they didn't end up passing it. But man, they were upset, and rightfully so. But what comes around goes around, I like to say. So, and when times are tough financially, the city says, "Well, can I afford to give everybody that works here now raises, or should I pay a pension to a guy that retired 30 years ago that nobody even knows anymore?" You can see which one's going to get priority.
Right.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you for your time. I know you're both busy, so
No, I appreciate it.
thank you for
But,
having me
I'll
in.
send you a confirmation of the request, and I'll send
Yeah,
you
of course. Like I said, we worked before. You're excellent. I have no problems with your work, so I'm sure it'll be fine, and we'll get everything squared away.
Okay.
All right, and good luck on finding somebody else.
I know.
Thank you.
And when you do find him, let him know. Say, "George, Majorly Awesome." He'll be watching. Thank you, ladies. Okay. Hey guys, Rogue Nation here with you. So, you guys saw some of the footage just now of me talking with the media relations lady and also the public records lady, which is the city clerk, Miss Jean Ann, who's always done a lovely job for us. I want to get that out there right now. The lady that handles the public records, Miss Jean, has done a wonderful job for not just me, but other auditors and citizens that have requested records. So this is part of the final report on Kaminsky, who was, of course, the city manager. And I wanted to get into some of the allegations that you guys heard me making. So I said disparaging remarks about people exercising their rights. So in this report, and we're on page 2 of page 60, I believe it is. It says Miss Haliphant, who is the interim human resource director, met with the city manager in the evening of February 8, 2023, and she reported what her staff had told her about Miss Laverne. We'll get into her too, Miss Laverne, in just a minute. Miss Haliphant said that she met with the city manager for approximately 3 hours. She told the city manager that Miss Laverne was often unprofessional. She recounted an incident where Miss Laverne had recorded her interaction with a citizen and replayed the recording to members of the Human Resources Department. Miss Laverne seemed proud that she was frustrating the citizen who was calling the city as part of a mass effort to inquire into various public records. Ms. Haliphant referred to this group as the First Amendment Auditors. Ms. Haliphant said that everyone was shocked at Ms. Laverne's antagonistic behavior towards the citizen and shocked that Ms. Laverne thought that her behavior was funny. So, again, there are some good employees in the public sector, so make sure you guys highlight those and give them the respect they deserve for doing a good job in our name. I wish we had found out about this recording beforehand, because whoever she recorded, that citizen, I'm pretty sure she didn't let them know that she was recording. So that could have been a violation of the wiretap statute on Miss Laverne's part there. So interesting, definitely. There was a gentleman who also works in the Human Resources Department, and he confirms that. And he says right here, his name's Mr. Hargroves, was present when Miss Laverne came to the Human Resources Department to share an audio recording between herself and a First Amendment auditor. Miss Laverne was noticeably happy with her ability to antagonize and frustrate the caller. Miss Laverne was laughing, and no one else in the group found her behavior funny. So just sickening behavior on the part of Miss Laverne. And she is the assistant, the executive assistant to the city manager. Now, when the city manager was let go or resigned, or however the outcome turned out, I don't remember right offhand, Miss Laverne also went ahead and resigned as well. We got her resignation letter here. She voluntarily resigns her position as executive assistant to the city manager, effective of January 23rd of this year. So just a few months ago. Let's go and look at some other stuff. Okay, and this specifically goes right here to what we all know to be true, right? This is, I'm not going to shock anybody with the allegations or what's been said in here, except for the fact that this is concrete evidence of such now. And what I mean by that, guys, is that when you work for the city, the county, the police department, or whatever, if you put in complaints and you complain about someone's actions, maybe your boss, maybe somebody in a different department or something like that, you always face the fear of retaliation, losing your job, and such. And so a lot of people tend to keep stuff to themselves. Now, right here, we have actual proof of said theory, right? And it says, after the survey of the city manager was initiated, Ms. Jeanne Han overheard the city manager express disagreement with the survey being anonymous. Mrs. Han also said that she was present when Miss Lovern made it known that she could uncover the identity of those who submitted anonymous surveys. Mr. Lovern made the comment several times at different times. On at least one occasion, Miss Lovern made the comment that the identity of survey participants could be determined. Mr. Comiskey was present. The city manager said nothing to discourage Miss Lovern's comments. Miss Lovern's comments led her to amend her survey responses, improving her scores in favor of the city manager. I asked Miss Han if Miss Lovern's comments made her nervous. She said that it did, and she went back and softened things up a lot when I sent back and adjusted my answers. So basically what Miss Han was saying there is that because out of fear of retaliation, she then went and redid her survey on the city manager so as to not be retaliated against. So again, this happens more than people know. Okay, there's another part here that I feel warrants us to talk about. Okay, here it is. Miss Han said that a few weeks ago she took a photo of Miss Lovern working on a private laptop and sent the photo to herself. So she emailed this photo to herself. Miss Han believed that Miss Lovern was working on a non-city issued laptop. It was obvious that the laptop, which was smaller than a city issued laptop, was set up at Miss Lovern's workstation. Later, the city manager contacted the city attorney and asked when employees were instructed to take photos of other employees. Mrs. Han said that it was then that she knew that her emails were being viewed. So, and the reason she was able to view them, I'll tell you, it was up here. Mrs. Han said that there's a computer program called Barracuda, which allows designated users access to all city emails. As the city clerk, Ms. Han said that she utilizes the program to respond to public records requests. Ms. Laverne was provided with access to Barracuda by the city manager. Mrs. Han said that she was unsure why Mrs. Laverne would have such access. Mrs. Han said that she had overheard the city manager ask Miss Laverne to look up city emails. So the city manager was giving access to this program so that his assistant could monitor emails and make sure that no one was complaining about them or, such like that, so they could retaliate against them if they were. Okay, now we're going to get into some issues with the assistant to the city manager, Mary. Now, there wasn't a survey done on Mary, it was done on the city manager, but people felt compelled to include these issues with Mary because overall it dealt with the city manager position. Now, I want to be clear that I have all these documents. I have the survey, I've got the complaint, so if anybody, and I'm not going to go through all of them and read them, it's over probably 200 pages. But if anybody wants this information to look over it themselves at their own leisure, just go ahead and email me at patriotdiscussions@gmail.com, and I will forward this information on to you so that way you can look at it yourself, especially if you're a resident of Mount Dora. You'll definitely want to look over this information. But let's just go over the issues with Mary, and then I'll go ahead and wrap it up so the video is not too long. So it says issues with Mary. Mary tries to operate in the capacity of the assistant city manager and it is not well received. When Mary is not treated as such, she exhibits extremely unprofessional behavior. Mary gatekeeps information and controls the information that goes in and out to Patrick, who's the city manager, and manipulates him by providing her own perspective about the situation. It is apparent that Mary and Jim are involved in discussions and decisions that in no way involve them. This creates conflict between peers and directors' relationships with Patrick. And these are all different people here. Decisions and meetings are being delayed because they are going through Mary. I know Mary's personality and know how to navigate around it. Mary is a huge problem. She has been given too much control. Trying to schedule meetings through Mary has proven to be difficult, whereas scheduling through other staff within the city manager's office, I have been able to schedule same day. Mary is disrespectfully inappropriate and thinks it's funny, especially during the First Amendment auditors. Mary, in one word, is vindictive. People are afraid to get on Mary's bad side for fear of repercussions from her or Patrick. I question how to write an email to Patrick because I know Mary is going to read it. In some cases, Mary is opposed to project, but Patrick is on board. In these situations, I fear Patrick is manipulated by Mary's opinion instead of listening to the professionals. You can't get in to see Patrick unless you go through Mary, the gatekeeper. It says Mary treats Jeanne very poorly. She has no respect for her. Mary oversteps her boundaries often. If Mary is not part of a group, she treats them poorly. So you can see this is basically just a whole bunch against Mary because she's overstepping her authority and treating fellow workers underneath her, or maybe not even underneath her. She's an executive assistant, you know what I mean? She's a secretary. So treating her workplace peers in a shitty manner. So thankfully Mount Dora got rid of her along with Patrick, and hopefully they can get some people in there that are serious about the job, and especially about public records and the First Amendment auditing activity that goes on there, because we're definitely not done with Mount Dora. We'll be seeing them again in the recent months coming up, so we'll see how they act. But alright guys, I've been over this long enough. Like I said, if you want the information, because there's a lot I didn't cover, go ahead and email me and give me a day or two. I'll get that email back out to you with the information, so that way you can look it over as well, because this is definitely everything that we always talked about in city government. It happens. Just because we don't always get these internal memos and meetings and stuff like this that they do, doesn't mean that this kind of stuff isn't happening all over, and including in your town. So please go out there and see what you can find out. Let us know. We will definitely cover it to let the citizens know, so they can make informed decisions about what's going on in their community. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you soon. And remember, I'll see you on the next one, because there's always going to be a next one.